Welcome to the first edition of the Pagcast. So it's your host, Michael Buccaneers, and right now I'm going to introduce why, when, where, and why, and what is the Pagcast. So, why am I doing this podcast? So, I'm going to do this podcast because in my future I want to be a sports journalist. Just as simple as that. When am I going to do this podcast? Well, the recording schedule is as follows. Record Tuesday and upload Friday. Where are you guys going to hear this podcast? This podcast will be available on YouTube. There's a link into the Instagram bio at Pagcast if you guys haven't followed that. And what is this podcast? Well, this podcast is going to be a sports podcast. I hope to report on Hayden athletic scores as well. And it's just mostly sports. So here with me today, I have Charlie.
Hello.
And we are going to be talking about the recent NFL news this past week. So we're going to head on over to our first topic, which is the sports predictions.
All right.
And we're going to be talking about the division winners.
Okay.
So, Troy, what division do you want to start off with?
Start with AFC North.
Okay, so for me, the AFC North, I got the Steelers going 12-4.
Yup. Okay. I also have the Steelers going 12-4. I think with the addition of James Washington and Terrell Edmonds, the defense will be a lot better. And with the new receiver, they could take out Justin Hunter. And I feel like it'll be quite a bit better than it was last year.
All right, so let's move over to the AFC South. For me, I got the Jags winning.
So do
I think that's the more popular decision, as with their stellar defense.
Yeah, pretty good.
All right, so then...
What do you have the record?
The record is 13-3.
So do I.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
If they get a new quarterback, I feel like they can be ridiculous. Or a better quarterback. Blake Bortles was pretty good.
So for the AFC West, I have the Raiders.
Ooh, bold pick. I have the Chargers.
Okay, so for me, like John Gruden, he's been in the coaching industry for a long time, and I think the record's going to be 11-5. So what's your record for the Chargers?
The Chargers have 11-5, but the Raiders, I think they're making some bold moves with Khalil Mack, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're trying to win it this year. I think they're trying to win it in the future.
That's good.
They trade Mack for a bunch of picks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're trying to get it. Well, obviously they're trying to, but I don't think that's their vision.
Right. Okay, so if then the AFC East, I'm pretty sure it's unanimous with the Patriots. Tom Brady, he is the GOAT. I have them at 12-4.
I have them at 13-3.
Okay, so we're on the same record. NFC East, the Eagles, 12-4.
Yeah, 12-4. Yep.
All right. For the NFC West, I have the Rams.
So do I.
Okay.
No, I know. I have the 49ers.
49ers, really?
Niners, yeah.
With Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah.
Oh my lord!
I saw some promise last season. The last 5 games, 5-0. You know, they may not have done so well this Sunday, but I feel like that's just, the Steelers tied the Browns. It's pretty bad. So, you know, I feel like Steelers are going to get better. I feel like the 49ers are going to get a lot better, going 11-5. That's my prediction.
But I think that the Rams, they have so many good wide receivers in Woods, Cooper Kupp. Jared Goff has so many weapons. Plus on defense with Aaron Donald, right?
Donald,
So I have the Rams going 11-5.
Yeah.
NFC North, I have the Vikings winning.
So do I.
13-3.
Yep.
And then the NFC South, I have the Saints going 11-5.
I have the Saints going 13-3.
Okay, so we both have the
It
Saints.
didn't go too well. I thought they were going to kill the Buccaneers.
Yes.
Did not go that way.
All right. So then for the playoffs, our listeners may be surprised, but I have the Bills making the playoffs after their horrendous start, which we will get to. So I have the Bills as the 5th seed.
The 5th seed. Wait,
Yeah.
I want to see. I have my seeds here. So I have the Texans as the 5th seed.
Okay.
Going 10-6.
For me here, let me go through my playoffs first then.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so the Bills match up against the Ravens, so the Ravens will crush them, as Joe Flacco is a very experienced quarterback. And they can use Lamar Jackson on Sunday, which I think is awesome, because he's a great wide receiver, running back, and QB.
He's just good at everything.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys.
And then the Texans, I have them as the 6th seed against the Chargers' 3rd seed. And I have the Chargers beating the Texans. And then the Jags, I have them as the 1st seed.
Okay.
So in my second round, I got Ravens against the Jaguars, Chargers against the Patriots. And the winner between those two teams is the Jaguars and Patriots.
Yeah.
So I'll move on to the NFC. I have the Packers as the 6th seed.
Who do you have winning that game? The Pats, Jags?
I have the Jaguars winning against the Patriots. So then for the NFC, I got the Packers and Falcons. Packers are the sixth seed, and Falcons are the third seed. I have the Packers winning that game. And then the Saints and Rams. I got Saints as the fifth seed and Rams as the fourth seed. I have the Rams winning that game. So in my second round, I have the Packers and Vikings. The Vikings are the one seed. And the Rams and Eagles. So Rams are 4 seed and the Eagles are 2. So I have the Rams beating the Eagles and the Packers beating the Vikings because of Aaron Rodgers. He's very experienced in the playoffs. So then in my Super Bowl, I have the Jags versus the Rams, and I have the Jags winning the Super Bowl.
All right. So for the AFC, I have the Steelers as the third seed and the Chiefs as, I believe, the sixth. Yeah. And then I have the Chargers, who are let me see here, who are the fourth seed and playing the fifth seed Texans. So the winners, I have the Steelers and the Texans, and then my 1 to 2 seeds were Pats and Jags. So I have so then Steelers, Jags, Pats, Texans. So I have the Steelers beating the Jaguars. Even though last year didn't go too well, I feel like this year they're going to go to the film room more, maybe do a little more research, and hopefully pull that one through. And the Pats beating the Texans just because, Tom Brady in the playoffs, Bill Belichick, they're kind of unstoppable. And then, so in the AFC Championship, I have Steelers and Patriots. And I have the Steelers winning that just because I feel like every time the Steelers play the Patriots, they lose, and I feel like it's been a long time coming for them to take a dub. And in the NFC, so I have the Eagles, which I believe are the third seed, playing the sixth seed Falcons. And so, and then the 49ers, who are the 4, and then playing the Rams at the 5. I have 49ers winning that one, and the Eagles winning it, and my 1 and 2 seeds are Vikings and Saints. Then I have Saints versus Eagles, Vikings, 49ers. I have the 49ers going to the NFC Championship and the Saints going as well. So then I think the Saints are going to win that. I don't think the 49ers will go much farther than that. And then I have the Steelers beating the Saints. I know it'll sound bad as I'm a Steelers fan, but I really think that they have it in them this year to take one home.
All right, so let's move on to some action this past weekend. So let's start with the Bills' atrocious game. So Nate Peterman is the main reason why the Bills lost, in my opinion. Charlie, did you watch the game?
I watched the end of it, yeah.
Okay, so he watched the end of it. He didn't get to see much of Nathan Peterman. Nathan Peterman is absolute garbage. Oh my God. I'll tell you. Bad. 3 starts, all right? He's been pulled every start. All right, and listen to this: 7 interceptions through those 3 starts, and that's embarrassing. All right, so Nate Peterman has failed Sean McDermott twice. So that leads to the question: who will be the starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills Week 2 against the LA Chargers? For me, it has to be Allen. It can't be Peterman, because if he gives that same performance that he did against the Ravens, the Bills are going 0-16. I don't see them winning a single game. Even though I have them making the playoffs, that is completely wrong, all right? Anyway, let's go into some of the stats.
Wait, my opinion.
Okay, you want to hear? Okay.
I also think that they will start Josh Allen just because he's young, he's more athletic than Nathan Peterman is. He knows how to get out of the pocket, maybe make a few plays. And I feel like they'll just put him in just for that. And just because Nathan Peterman is so bad, they'll just put him in.
And also Sam Darnold, that Monday night game against Detroit.
That.
What if Allen has that performance against the Chargers? It's possible. Same with Bosa. He's out with injury.
Yeah, he's out.
So that's huge for the Bills. They have to take advantage of that.
They really have to.
So, Josh Allen, he was in the game. He was driving the team to the Ravens end zone. I'm not sure what quarter it was. Pretty sure it was the 3rd, maybe late 3rd, early 4th. And he gives this missile to Kelvin Benjamin, and he drops it. It was right to his shoulder, and he drops it. The Bills didn't score a touchdown that game. It makes me so mad. And also, credit to the Ravens D. They completely shredded up that O-line. 6 sacks.
Oh, yeah.
Half of that was Peterman's. Half of that was sacked on Peterman. They're good man-to-man and good zone coverage. But the Bills, they didn't get many yards at all. They got more penalties and yards than they got yards in total offense. All right? That's just how terrible the game was. That's how terrible the team played. Obviously, the Bills are in a kind of retool mode, all right? So they are going to suck this year. They might not make the playoffs. So people who don't know the Bills are going to go on a limb and say, okay, well, it was luck. And yes, it was luck. Andy Doyle and Tyler Boyd was the main reasons why the Bills make the playoffs, all right? I'm still have that play replaying in my head saying, like, no, this can't be a fluke. This can't be a fluke season. All right, so let's move on to the Steelers and Browns tie. 21-21.
All right. So, as a Steelers fan, seeing your team choke a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter is heartbreaking. It's the Browns offense. They have Tyrod Taylor, decent quarterback at best, and Jarvis Landry, maybe B-tier wide receiver, and they're just killing Cameron Sutton, the cornerback. They're just killing him every play, just right there. It makes me so angry to see it because James Conner had the game of his life.
He did.
Crazy game. He was like, how many? Like 2 touchdowns, 130 rushing yards. That's ridiculous.
And when Le'Veon Bell sat out, right?
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell didn't come to the game because he didn't get the pay that he wanted, and so
I think he still earned money though.
No, he didn't get the money.
Oh, okay.
He didn't get the money. So for James Conner to be good, I was really happy. So I thought, we have a better alternative to Bell, which we obviously do. But then for Denzel Ward, the new cornerback on the Browns, locked down Antonio Brown. Antonio got like 3 catches, 1 touchdown, which was nice, but locked him down. And I think that's the main reason why they lost. They didn't lose. Why they tied is just because of the lack of Antonio Brown. They had to pitch it off to Juju because he was the only one open really. And then so when it went to overtime, I was hopeful because Steelers have put together countless game-winning drives in the past. And so I thought that Big Ben and Antonio Brown were just going to get it 2 plays, easy. So for them to not get it first drive, and then the Browns to come back at the 40 to throw, Cameron Sutton gets the pick, I think, second chance. We got to get it this time. So they drive down to get a field goal. And Chris Boswell, supposed to be one of the best kickers in the league, misses a 42-yarder.
He missed that?
He missed it.
Oh, wow. And
that lost the game. Well, you don't even tie. So I was very angry then. So now I was mad because then the Browns got a good punt return. No, they did a bad thing again. Steelers came, fumble, and then they got the ball, drove into field goal range, but then penalties brought them back. And then T.J. Watt, the savior, blocked the game-winning field goal.
J.J. Watt's son? Or brother?
Brother. Yeah. And I was so happy with that. But at the end of the day, I was pretty angry about the outcome of that game. I feel like they could have done a lot better. 7 turnovers in total, like 4 picks, and a couple of fumbles. So many fumbles.
That's the Browns' best start since 2004 is a tie.
It's a tie.
And that's embarrassing. For the Browns community, congratulations. Yeah. You have won the game.
Honestly,
for the Steelers,
they won the game.
For the Steelers, you think it's a huge loss. You think it's a game-ending loss.
That was definitely a loss. A tie against the Browns, up 21-7, 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That's definitely a loss on my book.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it was a game-tying Flash Gordon touchdown, eh?
Yep.
That was pretty epic. I won't lie. That was an epic touchdown from Josh Gordon.
I was so angry because he threw it up. I thought he was out of bounds. No way. And then they reviewed it.
He toe taps.
I saw his toe tap.
Yeah.
And
toe tap Sunday.
I thought it was over. I thought, no way, they're going to come back. They're going to score. Because the Steelers' defense was so sloppy that game.
Right. Now, do you think that Le'Veon Bell, the holdout, did you think that costed the game?
No. Because I feel like Le'Veon Bell, I don't think he's as good as he thinks he is. Because the Steelers' O-line is remarkable. It's very good. And I think that's the only reason why Le'Veon Bell can make the patient plays that he does. And for James Conner to come in there and do the same thing that Bell does, James Conner being a second-string running back, I don't think that Bell is that good. Obviously, he's one of the best. But without an O-line, he wouldn't be that good. Say if you were on the Seahawks, who lack a good O-line, he would not be as good as he is. So, no, I don't think that's what caused the loss, no.
And do you think this has competition for the starter with James Conner's performance? Do you think that there's competition for the starting running back, or do you think Le'Veon Bell's still a starter?
I don't think so. I feel like the Steelers, having paid so much money for Le'Veon Bell, are just going to put him in because it's kind of just a waste of $14 million to not put him in. Mm-hmm. But I kind of have this little hope that James Conner goes in because I really like him. He's not entitled. He's not like Le'Veon Bell is because Le'Veon Bell acts like, oh, I deserve this money. I'm the best running back. But I don't think so. I think Todd Gurley's better than him, and David Johnson is better than him. And Todd Gurley is paid more than him, but that's just because he's not mean about it. I don't like him.
All right, so let's move into the Bucs and Saints game. That was a surprise. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Wait, so where's Jameis Winston? Is he injured?
Yeah, he's injured.
Okay,
oh, no, suspended.
Oh, okay, right. So I didn't know about that. So I'm reading the stats, right? Doing some research, and I see that Fitzpatrick won the game, and I'm like, wait, what? He has been good since, like, back in the Bills. I think that was his last good tenure. Yeah. The Jets, he was garbage.
Yeah.
But now against the Saints, he only missed 7 throws.
Yeah,
right?
Crazy.
And he throws for 417 yards.
It's ridiculous.
4 TDs. Like, that's insane.
In my fantasy team, I had the Saints defense on. And so...
you got cooked.
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick ruined the week for me. I would have won if the Saints didn't do so bad.
That's rough.
And
so Breeze, 3 TDs and 439 yards. Great performance by both QBs.
Yeah.
Like, I would have wanted to watch that game than the Bills.
Yeah.
I wanted that game to be televised. Other than, like, in hindsight, I would have rather that than the Bills game.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the Sunday night football game. Packers and Bears. What a game. So this first week has been exciting. So many storylines. So Rodgers got carted off the field with his leg. But then he comes back and he pulls off that performance. Down 20-0. Like, that's insane.
He pulled a Paul Pierce on him.
Yeah, exactly.
On the wheelchair.
Yeah. So Rodgers threw 20 for 30, 286 yards, 3 touchdowns. But that can't overshadow the big Khalil Mack debut.
That was crazy.
He got a strip sack and a pick 6.
Yeah, I saw a thing, and it was like he's the first player since something crazy like 1980 to get a sack, a pick, a touchdown, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery in one half.
Really, eh?
Yeah, and that's crazy. I can't believe he did that. So you think Bills are getting their money's worth with that?
Yeah, so then on the first game of the season, the Thursday night game, there was a controversial Julio Jones catch, right?
Yes.
And so let's go over the new established NFL rule of a catch. So there's control, 2 feet or body part in the to catch it, and you have to make a football move. So examples of a football move are reaching, bringing the ball in, and a third step. So did you think, after review, that was a catch? Because I think it was too.
For sure. Like, because with the new rule, you don't have to maintain possession throughout falling to the ground.
Yeah, it doesn't say that in the rule.
You just have to have possession for when you're down. So he was bobbling it in the air, but then on the ground, he held it on his right shoulder, and he was down. His back was on the ground. He caught it there. I feel like that should have been a catch. No, there shouldn't have even been an argument there. That's definitely a catch.
So now I want to speak upon the statement that Jalen Ramsey put out, saying that he would be a hockey player if he started training for 6 months. Now, this is ridiculous, all right?
I knew you.
I didn't start playing hockey in 6 months. There's no way he, as a cornerback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as a cornerback, can play hockey in 6 months. That's ridiculous.
No.
Hockey is one of the hardest sports to play, other than rugby. And it's really hard to compete because you're going really fast on skates, right? And the hits that the guys give out, Dustin Bufflin, one of the hardest hitters in the league. I've watched some of his hits. They are bone crushing. Like, I'll tell you, in a playoff atmosphere, that gets the Jets fans riled up. And that's what I love about hockey.
The Jets fans?
Yeah, he plays on the Jets. Dustin Bufflin.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking football. Okay.
No. But, just Jalen Ramsey needs to stay his course. Stick to football, man. He shouldn't interfere with hockey.
I feel like he did that just to make people mad about him, to get his name out there. I don't think he actually thinks that. Because if he does, that's kind of ridiculous. Because for any sport to be at the pro level, you have to be training for most of your life, if not your whole life. So I feel like he just did that to make people like you mad.
So you're saying he did that to get a reaction out of everyone?
Because that's how you get famous nowadays. You cause a controversy. So I feel like he's trying to get his name out there, and people say, "Oh, he sucks," and then when he makes a good play, "Oh, maybe he doesn't suck. Let's pay him some more."
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
All right. Well, that does it here today for the first edition of the Pagcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. And so, like I said, we are going to be recording Tuesday and uploading Friday. So I'll see you guys in the next edition.
I'd just like to say thank you very much for having me on the first edition of the Pagcast. It's an honor. Thank you. All right.